booked if he's in the way, Bailey, I've got to say.
Yeah, Ayling tried to take a quick free kick there. And he's saying to the referee now, I'm not going to tell you exactly what he said. But
no, but it penalises Leeds when it should be their advantage.
Channel ball here for Leeds.
He's onside too.
Rodrigo's onside for now. Edge of the area coming in from the right-hand side on his left foot. Pulls it wide of the near post. But again, another warning for Aston Villa. Rodrigo curving his run in behind, and he was onside.
He's just onside. He curves it beautifully.
Mings totally unaware.
And that's the problem. You have the centre-halves haven't spoken to each other, but you can see from Rodrigo, literally, I'm going to shoot. I'm not even going to look for anyone else. And maybe he should have got his head up and maybe a little bit quicker. But it just shows they can get in behind.
Rodrigo, who came after a number of good years at Valencia. It's his third season with the club now. 6 goals last season, 7 the year before, but already on 10 this. So despite Leeds' struggles, he's done pretty well for himself.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's a good player. And very important to the fortunes of Leeds.
61 minutes gone. With your crystal ball, do you think this scoreline will remain intact?
Well, I mean, as you were talking, I was
Patrick
just looking,
Bamford,
exactly.
is imminent.
I was just looking at this point. Your head goes to the bench, and you start to think about, well, who can come on and make a difference? And it would be Patrick Bamford to come on and sit up front and give Rodrigo some help. So you're looking at possibly one of the midfielders maybe being withdrawn to allow them to play maybe 2 up front or 1 up front and 1 off the front.
Because ultimately they've done everything they can with those out there, haven't they?
They have. And to be honest, maybe they should have nicked a goal. I don't think Villa have done enough to be a 1 ahead, I have to say. Villa, for me, in this, this half have hung on. They've not. You can't say that they've dominated possession. You can't say that they've created chances.
Double Leeds change. They're going to mix things up here.
Well, you can't say he's not brave. You can't say he doesn't take risks. You can't say he's not going to try things.
Well, he's going to take Harrison off here.
He's not been as effective for them, I've got to say. He's normally a big player for them.
Bamford will come on for him. And there's going to be a yellow card here for time wasting.
Of course there should. Of course there should.
Are you in favour of the stop clock that some people talk about?
I am, because then none of this happens. Absolutely none of this happens.
Ball forward. Douglas Luiz. It is staggering, isn't it, really, when you hear that there's only 55 minutes of average Premier League football.
Yeah, no, I think there should be a stop clock, because then there is no discussion at all. There's no time wasted at all. And I actually think when people time waste, you should be penalised by having more time added on.
Bailey's lost it. Aronson forward. Rodrigo back to goal. He slipped it into Adams here. He's inside the area. Ashley Young with a goal-saving challenge to turn it back to his own goalkeeper.
Great tackle. What a wonderful bit of play. Again, Leon Bailey loses the ball, and it's played in beautiful place out for Adams. Great defending from Ashley Young. This game is end to end.
Leon Bailey, edge of the box, looking for his second. Saved by the goalkeeper and nodding it on the rebound.
Offside.
But it's offside. Emi Buendia denied. He's saying no. He's wagging his finger. It must have been very, very close.
Well, it looks like it must have been very tight, because he's hit it from just outside the box. So as we see, he's not offside at all. He's not. You look by the cut of the grass, he's not offside. So VAR should change this, because it's very clear if we're going by the cut of the grass, if that's a straight line, he's onside, clearly onside.
So the VAR, Andy Madley, is going through this now, and he's clearly well on.
Point even looking at it again. There's no point even looking at it. There's no point even putting lines down.
Comes back out and he nods it over the goalkeeper and in.
Well, that's not a great angle for us, because if the ball, we can't even see from the VAR whether the ball's been struck there. If the ball's been struck there,
and the answer is goal. 2-0 Aston Villa.
Of course, it's a goal.
And Buendia grabs his third of the season. And Leeds United, for all their dominance, opportunities, and threat, find themselves 2-0 down as their struggles continue.
Well, it's against the run of play, isn't it? You have to say that. They've created next to nothing at Villa, and this has come from really, a transitional play. Bailey again does the damage, cuts inside again. Why are you letting him cut inside? It's a decent strike, I've got to say. Meslier maybe pushing it away. He's pushed it right back into traffic. It looks like it's moved a little bit, which is why the keeper's found it difficult. But Buendia's then taken a gamble, run into the box, got his reward for anticipating where the keeper might palm it out, and the game's different now. It's 2-0.
So confirmation of that second goal. Just as Leeds are about to make their changes, their task gets a whole lot harder.
Yeah.
By the way, I have to say, there was a yellow card shown for time wasting previously, wasn't there? But
yeah.
I can't find any record of it having been shown.
I think it was Kamara. Because we did see it. I did see it being shown. And you have to feel sorry for Leeds a little bit, because I'm not sure they've deserved this. Really. I mean, how many shots at goal Villa hadn't scored? It's not been many.
Leeds now have to come from 2-0 down like they did last week in the FA Cup at Championship side Cardiff.
2-0 is a strange situation, because if they nick one, the whole thing changes, because Villa then are concerned about what they could lose rather than what they could gain. So they need to really manage the next 10 minutes really well.
So Leeds have made their changes. Bamford on for his first appearance since the end of October as he replaces Harrison. And Maximilian Verber has come on as well at left back. He's a centre-back by trade. He's replaced Pascal Struijk. And we're halfway through the second half. There's still time. Throw in from the left here. Drops in the area. It was hit this time by Rodrigo. It took a deflection, but went through to the goalkeeper.
More than enough time, I've got to say. For Leeds to create an opportunity, there's more than enough time.
I was on with our friends at Sirius last night, and they asked me what the future holds for Jesse Marsch. If results continue to go against him, where is the balance?
Well, again, if things don't go well, we've seen managers get sacked for less.
If he loses here tonight,
managers have lost their jobs for less. Let's not kid ourselves. But what you notice with them often when the managers lose their jobs, it's because, for want of better words, they've lost the dressing room. Let's say they've lost the players. You cannot look at Lee's performance and say that the manager's lost the players. You can't, because on another day this is 2-2. This isn't 2-0.
Victor Orta, the director of football at Leeds, who is an interesting character, let's just say, wears his heart on his sleeve, even though he's sat in the director's box. He will have a big say, you would imagine. But how long does he have? I mean, it's another game that goes by without a win. 2 wins since August.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting.
He's not at desperation times. Don't get me wrong, they're not even in the relegation zone.
No.
But at the same time, they're 3 points off second bottom Wolves.
Just the thing is, they are in freefall. But I think what saves them is the fact that you could throw a blanket over half a dozen teams. So 2 wins takes you out of it. 2 defeats puts you in it. So it's a real difficult one at the moment. I mean, what do they find themselves? 14th. But when you think about it, there's 5 points between 20th and 13th. So, it's really tight. And again, we're nearly at the halfway mark. So if you bring someone else in, they have half a season to make a difference.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? Because of the World Cup, you feel like you're a lot further on in the season, exactly right. And yet you've still got half of the campaign to go.
You do. So there is enough time for them to mount a run that will take them out of it, without a doubt.
Douglas Luiz inside the box, sets himself up there and hooks it towards goal, but wide. Ashley Young had just been playing with Leeds a little bit beforehand, winning a succession of throws down the right-hand side, just winding down the clock ever so slightly. Just seeing his goal-saving challenge at one end, and then Villa just moments later making it 2 at the other.
Again, for me, where I'd be disappointed in Leeds' defending is letting a left footer on the right-hand side cut in twice. Didn't learn from the first one, and you let it happen again. And I just think that's rank bad play, especially when we live in a world of statistics and match analysis and all of that. you know, that would have been stressed by Jesse Marsh.
We did ask you to send in where you're listening from earlier in the game. We've had a tweet in here from Lee, who says he's in the middle of Pennsylvania. He says, I'm not saying I'm an engrossed Leeds fan, but I've just realised I've been going 45 minutes in the wrong direction.
Do you know the weird thing? I've just been contacted by a friend of mine, Steve Freeman, who's in Orlando listening to this. And he's a Spurs fan, by the way. But yeah, hopefully he thinks it's a good game. I think it's really good. And I've got another friend who also said, oh, this sounds dull. And I'm sort of like, what are you hearing? This is a really good game. I've got to say, it's been a really enjoyable game. Afternoon, Steve, by the way. It's been really enjoyable. It really has been. And for me, the next goal is crucial, because if Leeds get it...
Gnonto's trying to set it up here. He's inside the box. It comes back out here. Verba's in there. The substitute making his Premier League debut in this game. It's now with Bailey on the right-hand side. Cuts in field and tries to drive a ball forward and has into Ings. Taken on now by Ramsey. Nice interchange. Ings to the right. He could play it to the left. He has played it to the left. They're inside the box now. Villa is into the side netting in behind. Great chance again for Alex Moreno, who can't make it 3-0 and seal this game off for Villa.
Well, wonderful play from Bailey. I've got to say, great composure. You thought he'd scuffed his pass. Ings sets it back beautifully, and now he's on. You know, I've got to say, Jacob Ramsey doesn't see it. If he gets his head up, Danny Ings is clean through, but he picks the wrong decision. It goes out to Moreno, and really where he should go across the goal, he's gone for a very high tariff finish, which for a defender, unfortunately, it was beyond him.
Concept. On the edge of his own box here, finds the ball out to the right-hand side to Bailey. Nice short, sharp pass inside to Buendia. Villa looking better on the ball now, growing in confidence. Ramsey over halfway. Challenged here by Adams, but he'll go left. Moreno comes in, 72 gone, Villa 2-0. They lead against Leeds. Douglas Luiz into the box here. Danny Ings is onto it, saved by Meslier. Grabbed by the young Leeds goalkeeper. 3-0 would be curtains.
And you see a slight change in the game now. Look at this, holes and gaps being left all over the place in Leeds' defence. And they've had two very good chances in succession, Aston Villa. And you want to hope they don't rue those missed chances if Leeds nick a chance, because Leeds will now start to gamble even more.
Verba down the line into Aronson. Tries to play a quick ball across, and Konsa was quickly into it.
It's a wonderful tackle from Ezra Konsa, because if Aronson gets that across, it's a tap-in for Patrick Bamford. And he gets across really quickly, Ezra Konsa.
So, the throw here on the left for Leeds. Verba is going to deliver. Long, looping ball into the box. It's over the head of Bamford, headed behind by Konsa. And yet another corner here to Leeds United. This their 10th of the game. Villa haven't had a single one.
Well, again, it may have been 10, but they've produced very little from them. And it always concerns me. You know, we live in a time where there are a lot of set pieces where they just haven't been taken seriously. The quality's been poor.
Well, they were so creative, weren't they, from that free kick they had on the edge of the box. You think maybe come up with something different.
You'd expect something different.
Harrison was taking them before. He's off now. Mark Rocket will take this one. He's going to be off in a second. But he takes his corner first, in towards the near post. Villa trying to get it out. It's still inside the box. Eventually it's out now, and the counter could be on. It's Bailey sprinting downfield. He's got pace to burn. He's over the halfway line. Ings is the free man in the middle. Bailey couldn't get the ball to him. Didn't want to play it on his right. It couldn't cut back onto his left.
It's poor play from Bailey. There's nothing wrong with him. If he gets his head up, Danny Ings is in. But it just, and again, it's that curse of being one-footed as well, because he should just use his right foot. He's got the whole of the half to play into. Danny Ings is clean through, because I really do think they need the third goal, because Leeds will keep going.
As a left winger, were you out and out, or did you like to come inside?
No, I love coming inside the pitch, because that's where the action was. There'd be some games where, for some odd reason, the ball was never out on the left-hand side, so you had to come in off the line. And what happens when you come off the line? No one marks you, because the fullback doesn't come in.
Gnonto coming in off the left here. He's gone a long way. Gets in the strike. It's behind tackle for a corner.
Wonderful tackle. Again, Gnonto does really well. Dances past a couple of players, and you think, oh, it's opened up lovely for him. But then again, Ezri Konsa comes out. Ashley Young's there as well. 3 Villa players converge on him and get the block in, and it's gone for a corner.
The heavy wallet of Paul Mortimer. It's just fallen out onto the floor around us here.
Trust me. After where I've been in the last couple of months or weeks.
Mark Rocker's corner, and the Spaniard lifts it in, headed away by Inks. Leeds go back here to Meslier. We're going to see Greenwood come on for Leeds. We're going to see Gelhardt come on for Leeds. They're throwing everything at it.
Like you know they would. Like you know they would. This is what they do, Leeds.
We're back here with Mings. Camera back to Martinez. The ball was rolling so close to the goal line there. Dangerously close. Bailey's lost it. Leeds have it here with Roca. Nyonto. On the left-hand side for them now is Rodrigo. His ball in towards the near post towards Bamford. He went behind off him and behind for a goal kick.
Good, nearly a decent cross. Again, Villa giving the ball away. If Leeds are pressing on them, like I said, you just drift it over the press into the centre forward's feet. But they're still trying to pass in areas where I think it's too close to their goal. They'll give the ball away, and they're offering opportunities to Leeds.
So Sam Greenwood, the centre forward, is going to come on here for Mark Roca. Jesse Marsh gives his man a big hug as he makes way. Greenwood, only 20 years old. Scored plenty of goals at under 23 level. 1 in 8 games so far this season. A former Arsenal youth player. Aronson also going off. And Joe Gelhardt, another centre forward, coming on.
Well, they're not afraid to throw youngsters in.
When they're lucky, they've got this many forward options, I guess.
Yeah.
Not too many clubs would have that many on their books.
Yeah, and they're not afraid to use them, which I think is a positive. Villa playing with fire across the back again. I just don't get why you're just offering Leeds the ball in areas where really they've got no business being. It's not good enough.
Danny Ings has given them the ball. But Mings has it back on his chest. Camera now can turn in midfield, and Messi gets away from the slipping and sliding Sam Greenwood. Buendia. Third goal for Villa, kills the game. But Leeds, you have to stay, even though they're 2-0 down away from home and not out of this yet. But they've got to keep their cool, and that was a kick out there from Rodrigo.
Yes, it's ridiculous, really. They have to keep calm, they have to keep their cool, because for me, if they nick one, the game is different. What are Villa like hanging on?
Philippe Coutinho is coming on here for Villa. Is that the kind of player you want in this situation?
Not for me at this moment in time. I think if he comes on, it's Buendia who has to come off, but I think he's done well enough to stay on the pitch. Because you just need to manage the situation, and you know, for me, too often in games like this, Coutinho looks like a little boy lost.
Here come Villa, over halfway. It's Ramsey. Great ball out to the left-hand side. Moreno shaping to cross and does. It's deep towards Ramsey, taken away by Cooper. Bailey trying to curl one towards the far post, and Cooper again to the rescue.
Well, Bailey first and foremost, poor first touch. Again, lovely play, good cross from Moreno. Thought it was going to land on Jacob Ramsey's head, it didn't. And he's not ready for the ball, Bailey, when it comes to him. So poor first touch means it's not out of his feet, means defender blocks it fairly comfortably.
Leeds are without a win in 6. 2 of those cup games at the start and end of the run, a defeat at Wolves in the League Cup and a draw against Cardiff in the FA Cup. They've got that replay to come this coming Wednesday. 7:45 start at Ellen Road, then Brentford at home for them next Sunday. And then again a Sunday game for them at the start of February. They've got the FA Cup weekend off in between. They're away at Nottingham Forest. Villa travelling to Southampton next, then hosting Leicester here, Midlands affair that one, and then travelling to Manchester City in the second week of February.
So you look at Martinez now wasting time. It's the 79th minute. What are you doing? The mindset is just not.
It's not a great look.
It's not a great look, and I can't. I just don't. I don't know. I'm just lost on all of that.
Changes are coming here for Villa. Ramsey and Buendia are both going to come off. Sanson and Coutinho are going to be introduced. Mings has the ball here at the back. Villa have conceded 3 goals owing to their own errors this season, and only 2 teams have had more, which perhaps tells its own story. Move forward here. Ramsey looking left, brings in Moreno, who's had a bit more space to work in the second half. And then a loose touch from him again. He's up to speed here.
No, he wasn't given a great ball there, if truth be told, initially. And then that was good play to get to that area from Villa, but they give the ball away far too cheaply. Interesting, these 2 players coming on, because they've both got points to prove.
So, Emi Buendia going off. We have an appraisal of his evening.
Yeah, I've liked him. He's been bright. He's been busy. He's looked to pass and play forward. He's looked to creative, to try and create things, grabbing the game by the throat and really producing what we knew he could. I think it was at Norwich when he used to be, 8 out of 10 every week. But I suppose Unai Emery is giving him that opportunity that he probably didn't get under Steven Gerrard.
So Villa putting an extra deeper than Ramsey might have done.
Yeah, and that's just about really stiffening up the midfield and making sure that they're not overrun by the Leeds players when they're flying forward. Having said that, Leeds have put a lot into it so far. So fatigue may well come as well, and that makes it difficult for them in terms of running forward and passing forward at pace.
Looks like Coutinho is going to go and play off the left here.
Why? It looks like they've gone almost 4-4-2, doesn't it?
Sanson more of a right-sided player here at the moment rather than his favoured central role. Here's Gnonto away down the left-hand side. Sanson trying to get back against him. Gnonto's into the area, running forward, but Sanson had the legs to get there. Still Gnonto inside the box. He plays it across, and Bamford gets a goal back for Leeds. On his return, Patrick Bamford nets, and this game is not done yet. His first goal of the season.
Deserved. I mean, Ashley Young is embarrassing. The ball comes over the top, and Gnonto just eases him out of the play, makes a big deal of it. And then he drives into sort of inside the left position and then into the penalty, and you think he's lost it, but he and Patrick Bamford's got an empty net. So, as I said to you before, 2-0 is a real strange one, because now Villa will have to hang on, and Leeds will throw everything at the game now.
And that is Patrick Bamford's first goal since December last year. It's been quite some time for him. He's had a real struggle with injuries over the last calendar year. He did actually score a hat-trick for Leeds under 21s against Southampton in September, but certainly at first team level. And it's a goal that's been a long time in the waiting. So throw in here to Villa inside the Leeds half. And it's just given them something to hang on to. The 100th goal of Patrick Bamford's career. 90 have come inside the penalty area. That's where he thrives. And he was in the right place at the right time there. Credit to Gnonto as well, because he really didn't give up down that side, did he?
Did absolutely brilliantly to keep the ball.
What chance the Leeds equaliser at this stage?
Well, I wouldn't put it past them, I have to say.
Sanson forward. Ayling carries it upfield. Down the right side, and then a late challenge
maybe a book in that.
On Gelhardt. Marsh urging his man to get back to his feet and get on with the game here. Time against them. 84 gone. Villa 2, Leeds 1.
And this is what happens to Villa Leeds a lot, is they try their hardest and end up getting beat, and they've given the ball away.
Bailey trying to make in Leeds United.